Welcome to this session on applying Lean and Six Sigma to Robotic Process Automation, or RPA. Before organizations automate any business process, they must first ensure that the process itself is efficient and reliable. Automating an inefficient process simply allows mistakes and delays to occur faster. In this lesson, we will explore how two well-established process improvement methodologies, Lean and Six Sigma, help organizations optimize workflows before implementing RPA. Lean focuses on eliminating activities that do not add value, making processes faster and more efficient. Six Sigma concentrates on reducing defects and improving consistency through data-driven analysis. Together, they create a strong foundation for successful automation. By understanding how these methodologies complement RPA, you will learn why process optimization is considered a critical first step in any automation journey. This knowledge will help you design automation solutions that are not only faster, but also more accurate, reliable, and valuable to organizations. Before implementing robotic process automation, organizations need a structured approach to improve the processes they plan to automate. This is where process methodologies become essential. They provide proven frameworks that help identify inefficiencies, improve quality, and create stable workflows before automation begins. The first methodology is Lean. Its primary objective is to maximize efficiency by eliminating activities that do not add value. It focuses on reducing waste, unnecessary delays, duplicate work, and process bottlenecks. The result is a faster and more streamlined workflow. The second methodology is Six Sigma. Unlike Lean, Six Sigma emphasizes quality and consistency. It uses data and statistical analysis to identify the root causes of errors, reduce process variation, and ensure that outputs are reliable and predictable. This is especially important for business processes where accuracy is critical. Many organizations combine these two approaches into Lean Six Sigma. Instead of choosing between speed and quality, they achieve both. Lean removes waste, while Six Sigma minimizes defects. Together, they create efficient, reliable, and customer-focused processes. For RPA projects, this integrated methodology is highly valuable because automating a well-designed process delivers greater productivity, fewer errors, and a much higher return on investment than automating an inefficient one. To understand Lean methodology, it is helpful to look at how it evolved over time. Its development reflects the continuous search for better ways to produce high-quality products while reducing waste. The journey began in 1913 when Henry Ford introduced the moving assembly line. This innovation transformed manufacturing by enabling mass production and significantly increasing productivity. However, the system focused mainly on producing large volumes of identical products, with limited flexibility and little involvement from workers in improving the process. During the 1950s, Toyota faced different challenges. Japan's market demanded smaller production volumes and greater product variety. Under the leadership of E.G. Toyota, Toyota developed the Toyota Production System, which emphasized eliminating waste, improving quality, reducing costs, and continuously refining processes. Unlike traditional mass production, employees were encouraged to identify problems and contribute ideas for improvement. In the 1980s, researcher Jim Womack studied Toyota's practices and introduced the term Lean to describe this highly effective production philosophy. Since then, Lean has expanded beyond manufacturing and is now widely used in healthcare, banking, software development, logistics, and many other industries. Today, Lean is not simply about producing more with fewer resources. It is a management philosophy that promotes continuous improvement, customer value, and efficient processes. These principles make Lean an ideal foundation for successful robotic process automation because efficient processes are much easier to automate effectively. Lean is built on 5 core principles that work together to create efficient, customer-focused processes. Rather than treating them as separate ideas, think of them as a continuous cycle of improvement. The first principle is value. Every process should begin by understanding what the customer truly values and is willing to pay for. Any activity that does not contribute to that value should be questioned. Next is the value stream. This involves mapping every step required to deliver a product or service. By examining the complete workflow, organizations can identify unnecessary activities, delays, and bottlenecks that add cost without adding value. The third principle is flow. Once waste has been removed, the remaining steps should progress smoothly without interruptions or unnecessary waiting. A well-designed flow reduces delays and improves overall productivity. The fourth principle is pull. Instead of producing goods or services in anticipation of demand, work is performed only when there is an actual customer requirement. This just-in-time approach minimizes excess inventory, reduces costs, and improves resource utilization. The final principle is perfection. often associated with the Japanese concept of Kaizen, which means continuous improvement. Lean recognizes that no process is ever perfect. Employees at every level are encouraged to identify small improvements regularly, leading to significant long-term gains. When these 5 principles are applied together, organizations create processes that are faster, more efficient, and better aligned with customer needs. Such optimized processes provide an excellent foundation for successful and sustainable robotic process automation. Successfully implementing Lean requires more than introducing new tools or techniques. It demands a change in organizational culture, where continuous improvement becomes part of everyone's daily work rather than a one-time project. Sustainable success comes from thinking long-term, instead of expecting immediate results. A practical way to begin this transformation is by starting small. Rather than attempting to improve every business process at once, organizations should focus on solving one well-defined problem. This allows the team to gain experience, understand Lean principles in practice, and build confidence before expanding improvement efforts to larger and more complex processes. Another essential factor is effective communication. Lean initiatives involve people from different departments, so collaboration and transparency are critical. Modern collaboration platforms such as Slack, Asana, or Smartsheet help teams share updates, assign responsibilities, track progress, and resolve issues efficiently. These tools make project coordination easier, without requiring everyone to be an expert in formal project management. For example, if a company plans to automate its invoice processing, the finance, IT, and operations teams must communicate regularly to identify process issues, implement improvements, and validate the redesigned workflow before automation begins. Ultimately, Lean succeeds when employees actively participate in identifying improvements, management supports long-term change, and communication remains open throughout the organization. This cultural foundation ensures that future RPA implementations are built on efficient, well-understood, and sustainable business processes. Sigma is a process improvement methodology that focuses on achieving high quality and consistency by reducing defects and process variation. Unlike Lean, which primarily removes waste, Six Sigma relies on data and statistical analysis to make processes more accurate and reliable. The term Six Sigma represents an extremely high level of process performance. In an ideal Six Sigma process, the output is nearly defect-free, with only about 3.4 defects per million opportunities. This means the process consistently produces the expected results with very few errors, making it suitable for industries where precision is critical. The methodology was formally developed by Motorola during the mid-1980s to improve the quality of its manufacturing processes. Its success soon attracted global attention, and companies such as General Electric, under the leadership of Jack Welch, adopted Six Sigma across their operations. They demonstrated that improving quality not only reduced costs, but also increased customer satisfaction and overall business performance. The core idea behind Six Sigma is simple. Instead of making decisions based on assumptions, organizations collect data, measure process performance, identify the root causes of defects, and implement improvements based on factual evidence. In the context of robotic process automation, Six Sigma ensures that the process selected for automation is stable, accurate, and well-controlled. When automation is applied to a high-quality process, the software robot delivers consistent results with minimal errors, leading to greater operational efficiency and long-term business value. To understand why Six Sigma is so effective, we need to look at its statistical foundation. The methodology is based on the Gaussian, or normal, distribution, which is the familiar bell-shaped curve used to represent how data is distributed in many real-world processes. In a normal distribution, most observations are clustered around the average, or mean, while fewer observations occur as we move away from the center. Approximately 68% of all values fall within one standard deviation, represented by the symbol sigma, from the mean. As the number of standard deviations increases, the probability of defects occurring decreases significantly. The term Six Sigma refers to a process where the specification limits are 6 standard deviations away from the process mean. This indicates an exceptionally stable and consistent process, with very little variation. In practical terms, such a process produces only about 3.4 defects per million opportunities, often abbreviated as DPMO. This level of performance is considered near perfection in quality management. For example, imagine an online banking system processing 1 million transactions. At the Six Sigma level, only around 3 or 4 transactions would be expected to contain errors. This illustrates the high level of reliability that organizations aim to achieve. In RPA projects, understanding this concept is important, because software robots repeat tasks exactly as they are programmed. If the underlying process has low variation and minimal defects, automation becomes more dependable, accurate, and capable of delivering consistent business outcomes. To measure process quality, Six Sigma uses a metric called defects per opportunity, or DPO. This metric helps organizations evaluate how often errors occur by dividing the total number of defects observed by the total number of opportunities for defects. Instead of simply counting mistakes, DPO considers every chance where an error could happen, making it a fair and consistent way to compare different processes. One of the strengths of DPO is that it can be applied across many industries. Although it originated in manufacturing, it is equally useful in banking, healthcare, software development, customer service, and any business process where quality improvement is important. The slide also highlights how quality improves dramatically as sigma levels increase. A process operating at 3 sigma typically experiences around 66,807 defects per million opportunities. Improving the same process to 4 sigma reduces defects to approximately 6,210 per million opportunities. This represents nearly a tenfold improvement in quality, showing that even a 1-level increase in sigma can produce significant business benefits. For example, consider an organization processing customer applications. If errors in data entry are reduced from the 3 sigma level to the 4 sigma level, the company spends much less time correcting mistakes, customers receive faster service, and overall operational costs decrease. In the context of RPA, these quality improvements are extremely valuable. Automating a process with fewer defects ensures that software robots perform consistently and accurately, reducing rework and delivering greater efficiency across the organization. The DMAIC framework is the structured problem-solving approach used in Six Sigma to improve business processes. It consists of 5 sequential phases that guide organizations from identifying a problem to ensuring that the improvement is maintained over time. Each phase builds on the previous one, creating a systematic path toward continuous process improvement. The first phase is define. Here, the organization clearly identifies the problem, understands customer requirements, and sets the objectives of the improvement project. A well-defined problem ensures that the team focuses on the right issue. The second phase is measure. In this stage, relevant data is collected to understand the current performance of the process. Rather than relying on assumptions, decisions are based on measurable facts and performance indicators. The third phase is analyze. The collected data is carefully examined to identify the root causes of defects, delays, or inefficiencies. Finding the true cause of a problem is essential, because treating only the symptoms rarely leads to lasting improvement. The fourth phase is improve. Once the root causes are known, practical solutions are designed, tested, and implemented. The objective is to eliminate inefficiencies, reduce waste, improve quality, and enhance overall business performance. The final phase is control. After improvements are introduced, organizations establish monitoring systems, performance metrics, and standard operating procedures to ensure the gains are sustained over the long term and the process does not return to its previous state. In RPA projects, DMAIC helps ensure that only well-analyzed and optimized processes are automated, resulting in reliable software robots, lower operational costs, and consistent business outcomes. Successful Six Sigma implementation depends not only on following the methodology, but also on assigning clear roles and responsibilities. Each role contributes to guiding the improvement project and ensuring that it achieves its objectives. At the highest level is the executive. This person defines the overall business goals, approves major initiatives, and demonstrates leadership commitment. Executive support is essential because process improvement often requires organizational resources and strategic decisions. The champion is responsible for translating these strategic goals into action. Selected by the executive, the champion provides resources, removes obstacles, coordinates across departments, and ensures that improvement projects stay aligned with business priorities. The process owner manages the day-to-day execution of the project. This role oversees the team, monitors progress, applies statistical tools when necessary, and ensures that improvements are successfully implemented and sustained. To build expertise, Six Sigma also uses a belt-based certification system, similar to martial arts. A white belt has basic awareness of Six Sigma concepts, while a yellow belt participates in improvement projects. A green belt leads smaller projects and applies analytical techniques. A black belt manages complex projects and mentors green belts, using advanced statistical methods. At the highest level, the master black belt provides strategic guidance, develops organizational standards, and trains future Six Sigma professionals. This structured leadership model ensures that every improvement initiative has clear ownership, proper technical expertise, and strong management support. In RPA projects, these roles help ensure that automation initiatives are carefully planned, effectively managed, and aligned with the organization's long-term business goals. Lean and Six Sigma are often viewed as separate methodologies, but they deliver the greatest value when used together. Each addresses a different aspect of process improvement, making them highly complementary. Lean focuses on eliminating waste. Its goal is to simplify workflows, remove unnecessary activities, reduce delays, and improve overall speed and efficiency. By streamlining the process, Lean ensures that only value-adding activities remain. Six Sigma, on the other hand, focuses on preventing defects and reducing variation. It uses data-driven analysis to improve accuracy, consistency, and reliability. While Lean asks, how can we do this faster? Six Sigma asks, how can we do this with fewer errors? When these two approaches are combined, they form Lean Six Sigma, a methodology that delivers both operational efficiency and high-quality outcomes. The integration model shown here illustrates that Lean prepares the process by removing waste, after which Six Sigma refines it further by minimizing defects and improving consistency. A common implementation strategy is to apply Lean first. Once unnecessary steps have been eliminated and the workflow becomes more efficient, Six Sigma techniques are introduced to analyze the remaining process, identify sources of variation, and establish controls that maintain high quality over time. For example, before automating a customer onboarding process, an organization may first remove duplicate approval steps using Lean. It can then apply Six Sigma to reduce data entry errors and improve accuracy. The result is a process that is both faster and more reliable. For RPA, this combined approach is particularly powerful because software robots perform best when they automate processes that are already efficient, standardized, and consistently produce high-quality results. The 5S framework is a practical Lean methodology used to create an organized, efficient, and disciplined work environment. Although it was originally developed for manufacturing, its principles are equally valuable in offices, IT departments, and RPA projects because well-organized processes are easier to manage and automate. The first step is sort, which involves removing unnecessary items, documents, or activities from the workplace. By keeping only what is essential, employees can focus on value-adding work and reduce distractions. The second step is straighten. After removing unnecessary items, everything that remains should be arranged logically so that the right resource is available at the right time. This minimizes the time spent searching for files, tools, or information. The third step is shine, which means maintaining cleanliness and order as a regular habit. A clean workplace not only improves efficiency, but also helps identify issues such as equipment problems or process irregularities before they become serious. The fourth step is standardize. Best practices are documented, and clear procedures are established so that everyone performs tasks consistently. Standardization reduces variation and makes training new employees much easier. The final step is sustain. The challenge is not simply organizing the workplace once, but maintaining these standards through regular reviews, discipline, and continuous improvement. In an RPA environment, the 5S framework can also be applied to digital workspaces. Organizing files, standardizing document naming, maintaining clean data, and following consistent procedures make automation more reliable, easier to maintain, and less prone to errors. One of the most important ideas in Lean is the elimination of waste. Waste refers to any activity that consumes time, effort, or resources without creating value for the customer. Before automating a process with RPA, these inefficiencies should be identified and removed. Otherwise, automation simply performs unnecessary work more quickly. Lean identifies 7 common types of waste. The first is motion, which includes unnecessary physical movement by employees, such as repeatedly walking to retrieve documents or switching between multiple applications. The second is transport, which refers to unnecessary movement of materials or information between people or departments. The third waste is defects. Errors that require correction, increase costs, and delay process completion. The fourth is overproduction, where more products, reports, or services are created than customers actually need. This often leads to additional storage and management costs. The fifth waste is inventory, which represents excess materials, unfinished work, or accumulated tasks waiting to be processed. The sixth is waiting, where employees or customers lose time because of approvals, bottlenecks, or slow responses. Finally, processing refers to performing extra work or adding features that the customer neither needs nor values. For example, if an employee manually enters the same customer information into multiple systems, this creates unnecessary motion, processing, and opportunities for defects. By redesigning the workflow first, these wastes can be eliminated before automation is introduced. The key lesson is that Lean encourages organizations to streamline processes before implementing RPA. A simplified, waste-free process allows software robots to operate faster, more accurately, and with greater business value. Before implementing robotic process automation, organizations should first optimize the underlying business process. Automating a poorly designed workflow only allows inefficiencies and errors to occur more quickly. This is why process improvement methodologies and RPA should work together. The first step is to identify the root causes of problems. Instead of immediately automating a process with delays or repeated errors, the organization should analyze why these issues occur. Once the bottlenecks are understood, the workflow can be redesigned to make it simpler and more efficient. Another useful technique is failure mode and effects analysis, commonly known as FMEA. This method helps teams predict what could go wrong after a process is changed. By identifying potential risks in advance, organizations can take preventative actions before automation is implemented. The methodology also emphasizes observing how employees actually perform their work. By watching daily activities, organizations often discover unnecessary movements, repeated manual tasks, or inefficient document handling that may not be visible in process documentation alone. Finally, authority and approval workflows should be streamlined. Many business processes are delayed because approvals pass through multiple managers. RPA can improve this by automating routine approvals while routing only exceptional cases to human decision makers through predefined business rules. For example, in an employee reimbursement process, standard claims that satisfy all policy conditions can be approved automatically, while unusual or high-value claims are forwarded for managerial review. By combining process optimization with intelligent automation, organizations ensure that RPA delivers faster execution, fewer errors, and greater long-term business value, rather than simply automating existing inefficiencies. A successful RPA implementation does not begin with building software robots. It begins with careful planning. Without a clear action plan, organizations may automate the wrong processes, overlook important risks, or fail to achieve the expected business benefits. Planning provides direction, aligns stakeholders, and reduces the chances of costly mistakes. The first principle is to avoid rushing into automation. The excitement of adopting RPA can lead organizations to automate processes before fully understanding them. Taking time to analyze and prepare ensures that automation is applied where it delivers the greatest value. The next step is to document priorities. A well-prepared implementation plan should clearly define the project's objectives, expected outcomes, timelines, responsibilities, and success criteria. This ensures that every team member understands their role and works towards the same business goals. Another important consideration is assessing the overall impact of the automation initiative. Factors such as information security, IT infrastructure, governance policies, regulatory compliance, and business continuity must all be evaluated before deployment. Ignoring these aspects can create technical or legal challenges later. Finally, effective planning requires collaboration across departments. Representatives from finance, human resources, marketing, legal, IT, sales, and operations should contribute their perspectives during brainstorming sessions. This cross-functional feedback helps identify hidden risks, discover new automation opportunities, and ensure that the final solution supports the needs of the entire organization. A well-structured action plan creates a strong foundation for RPA projects, ensuring that automation is strategically aligned with business objectives and delivers sustainable long-term value. RPA ideation workshops are collaborative sessions designed to help organizations discover the best opportunities for automation. Rather than selecting processes based on assumptions, these workshops bring together employees from different departments to share their knowledge, identify repetitive tasks, and evaluate where RPA can create the greatest business value. The first activity is introducing RPA fundamentals. Participants learn what robotic process automation is, how software robots work, and how automation will support employees by handling repetitive tasks instead of replacing human decision-making. This common understanding encourages active participation throughout the workshop. Next, the team identifies candidate processes for automation. Employees who perform daily operations often have the best understanding of repetitive, time-consuming tasks. Through brainstorming and group discussions, they suggest processes that could benefit from automation. Once ideas are collected, they are evaluated using scoring criteria such as technical feasibility, implementation cost, expected return on investment, process complexity, and potential business impact. This helps prioritize the most practical and valuable automation opportunities. The final step is validation. Participants work in teams to review, discuss, and refine the shortlisted ideas. This collaborative evaluation ensures that selected processes are realistic, aligned with business objectives, and supported by the people who perform them every day. For example, a finance team may identify invoice processing, expense reimbursement, and report generation as automation candidates. After evaluation, invoice processing might receive the highest priority because it is repetitive, rule-based, and offers significant time savings. By conducting structured ideation workshops, organizations build employee engagement, identify high-value automation opportunities, and establish a strong foundation for successful RPA implementation. As organizations adopt RPA, they often seek guidance from experienced consultants who have successfully delivered automation projects across different industries. These consultants provide objective advice throughout the implementation journey, helping organizations avoid common mistakes and accelerate deployment. One of their key strengths is lifecycle experience. Having worked on multiple RPA projects, consultants understand every stage of implementation, from process assessment and tool selection to deployment, monitoring, and maintenance. This experience allows them to anticipate potential challenges and recommend proven solutions before issues arise. Many consulting firms also provide proprietary frameworks. These include standardized methodologies, reusable templates, assessment models, and pre-built process libraries that reduce implementation effort and improve project consistency. Instead of starting from scratch, organizations can leverage these best practices to save both time and cost. Another important responsibility is establishing a Center of Excellence, or COE. A COE defines governance standards, development guidelines, security policies, and best practices for automation across the organization. Consultants also help ensure compliance with industry regulations and organizational policies, which is especially important in sectors such as banking, healthcare, and insurance. An important point highlighted here is vendor-agnostic guidance. Rather than promoting a specific RPA platform, experienced consultants evaluate the organization's requirements, existing IT environment, budget, and long-term objectives before recommending the most suitable automation solution. By combining technical expertise, strategic planning, and governance support, consultants help organizations implement RPA in a structured, scalable, and sustainable manner, increasing the likelihood of long-term automation success. The value of RPA becomes much clearer when we examine real-world implementations. Across different industries, organizations have partnered with consulting firms to achieve significant improvements in productivity, efficiency, and financial performance through well-planned automation initiatives. One example comes from the aerospace industry, where a company partnered with Genpact to automate business processes. By redesigning workflows and introducing RPA, the organization achieved productivity improvements of around 30 to 50% and projected an impressive 8 times return on investment over 3 years. This demonstrates that automation can generate substantial long-term business value when combined with process optimization. Another example involves a global bank working with Deloitte. The organization deployed more than 150 software robots capable of processing approximately 120,000 requests every week. The automated solution operated at nearly 1/3 of the cost of manual processing, leading to estimated savings of around $40 million over 3 years. This highlights how RPA can significantly reduce operational costs while increasing processing capacity. A third example is a rental car company that collaborated with EY. The company replaced manual Excel-based scripts with an RPA solution, achieving an exceptional return on investment of about 900% and saving approximately €1 million over 3 years. This illustrates that even organizations relying on simple manual tools can realize remarkable benefits through automation. These case studies emphasize an important lesson. Successful RPA projects are not driven by technology alone. They combine careful planning, process improvement, and expert implementation to deliver measurable business outcomes, including higher productivity, lower operating costs, faster processing, and substantial financial returns. Not every business process is suitable for robotic process automation. Before investing time and resources, organizations must evaluate whether a process has the characteristics that allow software robots to perform it efficiently and reliably. The first characteristic is that the process should be repetitive and time-consuming. Tasks that employees perform repeatedly, such as entering data, generating reports, or processing invoices, are ideal candidates because automation can save significant effort and reduce manual workload. The second characteristic is that the process should be rules-based. RPA follows predefined instructions, so activities governed by clear business rules, such as, if this condition is met, perform this action, are much easier to automate than tasks requiring human judgment or creativity. Another important factor is volume and frequency. Processes that occur frequently and involve large numbers of transactions provide the greatest return on investment because the benefits of automation accumulate over time. Processes that are prone to human error are also strong candidates for RPA. Repetitive manual work often leads to mistakes in data entry or processing. Software robots perform the same task consistently, improving accuracy and reducing the need for rework. Finally, the process should be clearly defined and well documented. Flowcharts, Standard operating procedures and measurable performance indicators help developers build reliable automation solutions without ambiguity. For example, payroll processing is an excellent RPA candidate because it is repetitive, follows fixed business rules, handles large volumes of employee records, and requires high accuracy. By evaluating processes using these characteristics, organizations can prioritize automation projects that deliver the highest efficiency, reliability, and business value. Successful RPA implementation depends heavily on thorough process documentation. Before a software robot can automate a task, the organization must clearly understand how the process works, who performs it, which systems are involved, and what business rules must be followed. Good documentation reduces ambiguity and creates a reliable foundation for automation. The first key variable is understanding the process rationale. Every step in a workflow should have a clear business purpose. Knowing why a task exists helps organizations distinguish essential activities from unnecessary ones and identify opportunities for improvement before automation. The next variable is creating accurate flowcharts. Process maps visually represent the sequence of activities, decision points, and alternative paths. These diagrams make it easier for developers and business users to understand the workflow and identify automation opportunities. Another important aspect is identifying the people involved. Documenting employee roles, responsibilities, and handoff points ensures that software robots interact correctly with human users and support existing business operations without causing disruptions. Organizations must also document their IT assets. This includes the applications, databases, enterprise systems, and software platforms used during the process. Understanding these technical dependencies is essential for designing reliable RPA solutions. Finally, compliance requirements must be clearly documented. Security policies, regulatory standards, governance rules, and audit requirements should be incorporated into the automation design to ensure the solution remains secure and compliant. As a practical recommendation, organizations should begin with back-office processes because they are usually rule-based, repetitive, and predictable, making them easier and safer to automate. In contrast, front-office processes often involve customer interactions and greater variability, increasing the risk of automation errors and poor customer experiences. Careful documentation, therefore, becomes the key to building reliable, scalable, and successful RPA solutions. Measuring the success of an RPA project goes far beyond counting the number of software robots deployed. Organizations must evaluate whether automation is delivering measurable business value over time. This is achieved by monitoring return on investment, or ROI, using a combination of financial and operational performance indicators. The first metric is financial savings. Organizations compare the labor costs saved through automation with the expenses involved in developing, deploying, and maintaining the RPA system. A positive ROI indicates that the investment is generating tangible business benefits. The second area focuses on operational performance. Key indicators include reductions in processing errors, improvements in data quality, faster cycle times, and the ability of software robots to operate continuously without interruption. These improvements increase productivity while maintaining consistent service quality. Customer-related metrics are equally important. Organizations often monitor customer satisfaction scores, known as CSAT, and Net Promoter Scores, or NPS, to determine whether automation has improved the customer experience. Faster response times and fewer errors usually translate into higher customer satisfaction. Another valuable measure is employee impact. Rather than replacing employees, successful RPA initiatives free them from repetitive tasks, allowing them to focus on analytical, creative, and customer-focused activities. Organizations therefore monitor employee satisfaction, retention rates, and the ability of staff to contribute to higher value work. Together, these financial, operational, customer, and employee metrics provide a balanced view of RPA performance. By continuously tracking these key performance indicators, organizations can measure the true value of automation, identify areas for further improvement, and ensure that their RPA initiatives continue delivering long-term business benefits. Executing an RPA project requires a structured deployment strategy rather than simply developing and launching software robots. A clear roadmap helps the organization move from planning to implementation in a controlled and measurable way while minimizing risks. The process begins by defining high-level objectives. Before development starts, the organization should establish measurable goals such as reducing manual effort, shortening process cycle times, improving accuracy, or lowering operational costs. These objectives provide a benchmark for evaluating the success of the automation initiative. Equally important is forming a dedicated core team. An RPA project typically involves business users, process owners, developers, IT specialists, and project managers. Although many of these members continue with their regular responsibilities, they work together under a strong leader who coordinates activities and ensures the project remains on schedule. The roadmap usually starts with a limited pilot or proof of concept. Instead of automating an entire department immediately, organizations first automate a small, low-risk process. This allows the team to validate the solution, gain practical experience, and identify improvements before expanding automation further. The next phase involves close integration with the IT department. IT teams ensure that the software robots comply with security policies, integrate correctly with existing systems, and meet governance and infrastructure requirements. Their involvement is essential for building reliable and secure automation solutions. Once the pilot is successful, the organization scales the deployment across the enterprise. At this stage, additional processes are automated while continuously monitoring improvements in productivity, cycle time, and error reduction. Following this phased approach reduces implementation risks and helps organizations achieve sustainable, long-term success with RPA. Implementing RPA is not the end of the automation journey. It is the beginning of a continuous improvement cycle. Even after software robots are deployed, organizations must regularly evaluate process performance, identify new optimization opportunities, and refine their automation strategies to achieve long-term success. The first principle is continuous improvement. Business processes evolve as customer expectations, regulations, and technologies change. Therefore, the original process design should never be considered permanent. Organizations should continuously monitor performance, gather feedback, and make incremental improvements so that automation continues to deliver maximum value. The second principle is mitigating early failure. Initial RPA projects play a critical role in building confidence within the organization. If the first automation initiative fails because of poor planning or unrealistic expectations, management may lose trust in the technology and hesitate to invest in future automation efforts. Starting with well-chosen projects and demonstrating measurable success helps create momentum for wider adoption. The final principle is strategic alignment. RPA initiatives should support the organization's broader digital transformation goals rather than exist as isolated technical projects. Strong executive sponsorship ensures that automation aligns with business strategy, receives adequate resources, and delivers outcomes that contribute to long-term organizational growth. For example, if an organization's strategic objective is to improve customer service, RPA projects should focus on reducing response times, increasing accuracy, and enabling employees to spend more time on customer interactions rather than repetitive administrative work. Ultimately, successful RPA is achieved when automation, continuous improvement, and business strategy work together. This integrated approach enables organizations to build scalable, sustainable automation programs that continue delivering value as business needs evolve.